Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Journey Sessions podcast, which is now solely a YouTube channel. That is so exciting. I'm recording this and not for the podcast. So if you're here watching me share with you, welcome. I'm excited to have you. Thank you so much. And one of my favorite parts about this YouTube channel is that you can leave a comment and I will respond to you. So as you're watching, as things are landing, especially in the journey work, I would love, love, love to hear what you have to say about it. Pop any questions in the comment box and I will get back to you. This is still called the Journey Sessions podcast because I don't know what else to call it, and it might change as we move forward, as things do. But this is really just a natural evolution. This wasn't like I'm saying this for all of my entrepreneurial minded coaching colleagues and friends who have all been sold on the same paradigm of how we're supposed to do things and how we're supposed to do business and what it's supposed to look like and what works and what doesn't. And I'm here to say, fuck all that. Let's just do what works right now in the moment and move with what feels like an expanded aliveness in your body. And so for me, that was getting off the microphone for the podcast, audio only, and going right to video. It just became a very hell yes feeling in my body. And to simplify is actually, for me, the greatest abundance that I can experience and offer you. So maybe there'll be a snazzy new name for this whole Journey Sessions channeled portal opening experience that I'm inviting you into, but it actually doesn't really matter. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. This is, if we're going to go with the consecutive laying out of these episodes, this is episode 12. The other episodes are loading. They're going to be available here on YouTube. The link to the integration questions will be here as well. So just jump in. If you're new here, if you're new to me, welcome. It's so good to have you here. So this episode is called Transforming Resistance. And it is so good. I'm so happy to be talking about this because for me, even as I say it, and this is what I love about this format, I can already feel how it's going to be a different kind of conversation, obviously, because even though you're not live with me on the other side of the camera, it's a different way of engaging and interacting with you and delivering information. So my gesticulations, the way my body wants to express itself, the way my face wants to look, my eyes, everything, it's a whole different experience and I love it. And so what was I saying? Let me get back on track. Yeah. So as I share and I bring to you here all that wants to come through right here about transforming resistance, what is landing for me, which is super exciting for me. And let me just say this. So let me just go off on a little tangent over here before I go back off on this little tangent over here, is that I am what I experience in my life and what's going on with me and what I share and articulate and the way I articulate it and the way I deliver it to you is because it's happening for you too. And so I am a mirror. I'm witnessing you. I am putting words to what you're experiencing that maybe you don't consciously know of, maybe you do. I'm here to help you move it along. And if you're like, this doesn't work for me at all, then you don't need to stay around. So, but I just want you to know that as I'm having the experience of talking about transforming resistance, what I'm feeling in my body and what I know is happening for me is that I am no longer resisting resistance, like not in the ways that I have in the past, not in, certainly not in the ways that I have like way back in the past where I thought it was like the most horrible thing in the world. Everything, like I needed to do whatever I had to do to avoid whatever was feeling like resistance to me. And I've learned to move through resistance and honor it. Actually, let me say this. I've always moved through resistance, but I've learned how to honor it and actually see it as something that's a positive thing in my life. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it is good. And so I'm going to be talking from this space today. And that's super exciting for me to talk from this place of this is a gift, and knowing how to move through it is a superpower. And I just want to open you up to this and to the remembering of this. And so I'm going to touch on a few different things today. We're going to touch on the leaning in and what that means, what that looks like. We're going to touch on then the acting toward it instead of like running the other direction and like resisting the resistance. And we're going to talk about allowing and feeling the resistance. So this is about transforming resistance. And I've defined resistance here for this context as a previously held barrier of safety that's ready to be dissolved. So think about something think about a resistance that you have already kind of worked with and moved through. And like, you can look back on and be like, yeah, I remember when that felt really uncomfortable and it was really hard. And it was like, maybe I avoided it or was resisting it for a while, but I actually moved through it. And I can see how it was something that I needed to move through. And now it no longer is here in front of me. It's like, it's in the past. It's not here in my right here with me anymore. So I want you to think about just think about this for a moment, like come into what experience this was for you. And then just notice, kind of remember when you were pushing up the resistance. And then I want you to even back a little bit, go back a little, even more, even before you push up against the resistance, when you didn't even know the resistance was there. And what I want you to recognize is the space you had to experience life in a way that felt safe and open and like, oh, this is awesome. And then as you started expanding and moving forward in your life and in yourself, you hit up against this wall of resistance. That resistance was actually the container of safety of what you knew and allowed and accepted as true for you at that time. But because we live in an expanding universe, and because you are the universe expanding through you, experiencing life as you're going to expand and hit these walls, these barriers, which causes the experience of resistance, right? So just think about it that way and look back at that experience and how you moved through it. And then notice how it's kind of an interesting pattern that's happened throughout my life, right? As I expand and grow, I'm going to hit against these walls, these barriers. They're supposed to be there, right? It's a previously held barrier of safety that's ready to be dissolved. And the beautiful thing, and this is such like part of the transformative piece of this, is that resistance actually creates a space for reevaluation. So something that worked, something that was aligned to you, something that you were attuned to, something that felt like it was a yes, as you grow and change, you might grow and change out of what this thing, this relationship, this way of being, this belief system, whatever it is, it's no longer attuned to you. So you hit up against resistance, you hit up against this wall, and you get to reevaluate the meaning or the purpose of this thing in your life. It's supposed to be like this. It's how we grow and evolve. Nothing's gone wrong. But I want to help you claim this and own it even more, because last time I checked, this game of life is getting a little more intense, and we're growing, we're evolving, we're waking up, we're ascending at a different rate than we have previously, and we're going to be moving through lots of layers of resistance. And the old ways of managing this by either avoiding it or resisting the resistance or like la 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 is like even more detrimental and damaging than it was before. So yes, I'll talk about this. So those old ways of avoiding and resisting or reacting to it and saying, no, I don't want that, or that's not, or all this that is no longer aligned to me because I'm changing, it needs to change with me so I don't have to experience this resistance that's reacting to it. Like that shit, it never worked before. I mean, it was like a Band-Aid, but it's definitely not working now, because as we're evolving and ascending, we're also becoming more embodied, we're becoming more aware, we're becoming more awake in our human form. And when we resist, react, and avoid any of the felt experience that we have as being a human, we're actually disembodying and disengaging from our life, which is going in the opposite direction that we're actually being pulled and heading in. And so really, it's like, this is the direction we're going, and you are wired and built and meant and made for this. And so I just want to remind you and help you along here to be able to move through all of this that's here for us. Like, and it's not about doing more and going faster. It's not about getting more accomplished. It's not about achieving more. It's not about like, I'm moving through this resistance because I have a goal. No. It's about giving yourself permission to move through it because your soul is calling you to, because there's something greater at play and it's happening regardless. And so allow it to happen. Allow it to happen. Come to your body. Allow yourself to move through it. Okay. So the first part of this is the leaning in part. And when you lean in, essentially what you're doing is you're not assuming that you understand what the resistance is about. You're leaning in, you're listening, you're tuning in, you're being a compassionate observer of what is going on, because it's true. The resistance is never what you think the resistance is about. To the brain and how we're wired and how the message gets delivered to our bodies and why we're like, no, not this, is because we're just experiencing the resistance. We're just experiencing kind of like we're pushing up against something and it's uncomfortable. And unless we have the skill and we practice noticing what that is and understanding it and deriving the information and the wisdom and knowing like, how does this serve me in my path? What is my growth edge here? What does this create for me? What else is available here? Why am I ready? What is, all of those types of inquiries. Unless you're practiced at that, you're just going to like take it on surface level and be like, this sucks. And you're not going to lean in. You're going to resist it, which takes a lot more energy and is a lot more painful and creates a lot more suffering than moving through. So leaning in is not assuming you know what the resistance is about, because you don't until you lean in, right? The experience you're going to have here, what's going to be your biggest challenge, is the fear. But let me tell you, fear is not the truth. Ever. I love the acronym for fear of false evidence appearing real. Oh, your brain does a really good job of painting a picture of how this fear is actually real, that keeps you from moving through and transforming resistance. But it's not. Listen, the truth can be scary. The truth can be scary, but it's also the truth. Fear is just fear. It's not rooted in any truth. It's just rooted in fear. So when you allow that fear to lead you, nothing happens. There is no expansion. In fact, there's actually often a contraction. But when you lean in and you're willing to not assume you know what the resistance is about, you actually tap into a higher wisdom, you tap into the possibilities, you tap into yourself, you understand what's ready to shift, you hit on a truth, a new truth. This is the reevaluation piece of what maybe you are and aren't available for, what you're now ready for that you weren't before, something that you have the capacity to hold now that you didn't have the capacity for before. So, right, you land on a new truth when you lean in. Now, you can negotiate and make excuses around and compromise yourself around the truth, but that doesn't make the truth go away. You can't argue with the truth. It's there. And that might be, that's the resistance. That's like, oh, fuck, that's still there. Shit, I tried it a different way, but damn, it's still there. God, I keep contorting myself and bending myself and like trying to squeeze myself into this thing that so I don't have to move through it. But it's still there. It's still there. What's the truth? And the truth is way less scary than all the fear that is being manufactured to keep you from actually seeing the truth. Right? So all fear is an argument. That's all it is. Fear is just an argument. The truth is the truth. So when you lean in, you get to notice what this is. You get to be really clear. This is where you do your things. This is where you have your practices. This is where you journal. This is where you talk to your coach, your therapist, a trusted friend. This is where you meditate. This is where you do the breath work. This is where you tap into your nervous system. This is where you move into the spaces beyond what you can measure and see and know in this three-dimensional reality, because you're at an edge. You have to break through and notice what's on the other side of this that you just aren't experiencing right now in this present day reality. And then we're going to move into the second part, which is acting toward that. So, right, you have to like get curious, lean in, and then you get to start acting toward it. And this is the moving through of resistance. So this is fun, what wants to be said here. So let me just take a moment to settle back into this. When you act toward the unknown and you're moving through resistance and you're compelled, right? It's not like when you're transforming through resistance, I don't think it's possible to do it with your hands tied behind your back, with a blindfold on, with like completely not wanting to do it and not having the energy to do it and faking it. I don't think you can fake this. You can be scared, terrified. You can like have a lot of energy moving through you that feels like you're going to die. But what's also there is aliveness. You're also alive. So acting toward the resistance is always going to come from an aliveness that's like coming from you. It is coming from you. And this aliveness that's moving you to act toward and move through the resistance is the essence of the aliveness that's on the other side of this resistance, that's for you to live out in your life, that's available to you to access and to be part of who you're becoming and how you get to express life through you next. So it's really, I think, it's extremely important, beneficial. I think it's a way that you can really dial up like the experience that you're stepping into that you don't know what it is yet, is by attuning to this energy that's moving you to act and take action, like really checking in with this energy and this aliveness, because it's what's moving through you. It's what's saying, hey, I've got you. I'm your buddy, and I'm going to help you push through this edge. I'm going to help you push through this barrier that you're now ready to expand beyond. You've got it all right here with you. The challenge is that your brain's like, energy, aliveness, taking action toward the unknown. Like, no. We want certainty. We want to know what we're doing. Like, we want to be able to ensure that these steps that we're taking are actually going to produce the result that we want. Yeah, just check in with the energy. You'll get all that information right there. That's part of the leaning in. It's the learning to read the energy, to receive the messages from the energy, to understand what the aligned action toward and through this resistance looks like and what it creates for you. Right? So you can do this. This is what you do. This is what's for you here in the resistance. So then another part of this transforming resistance is allowing what comes up and feeling it, right? So I said earlier, like, you're not going to not take action and not have the energy for that. You, like, any action you take is because you have the energy for it. And you might also be feeling a lot of other things, right? Like fear, grief, shame, doubt. Transforming anything, like transforming through resistance, actually means feeling through it, right? So that previous container, that box, that these barriers of safety that you existed in are holding up an energetic frequency or a paradigm that you exist in. So you have a capacity in this container to feel certain things in a certain way at a certain level. When you're expanding and moving beyond them, you are also going to feel the things that you thought you'd feel at a certain level in a different way. You're expanding your capacity for more. It's both and. Yes, you're moving through. You are tapping into a higher frequency of aliveness in life and the way you create, the way you live, the way you relate. It's all adjusting and rearranging for you. And that's fucking rad. It's delightful. It's powerful. It's amazing. It's life. And you might feel some really intense emotions on the way. This is completely normal. Your ability to feel and allow it is what will help you move through it. It's what is actually the energy you're transforming. The frequency that kept you in here has to transform so that you can expand and exist out here. The barriers dissolving is actually an internal experience where you have access to more. So you're going to feel more. And remember, it's only our brains that judge the feeling if it's good or bad, right or wrong. That's like, from a universal perspective, it's just energy. Energy moves. Energy is powerful. How are you going to harness it? You only know how you're able to harness it, and you're only able to have it work for you if you allow it and feel it, and if you tap into it. And what happens is that you go from just feeling resistance to actually feeling what is beneath the resistance. Right? So you get to deepen into your experience of your emotions. You get to tap into the wisdom and the truth of them even more. This is what expands your capacity, your understanding of yourself in this life and the energy that's here moving through you, moving you. So we're going to move into the journey portion of this episode. And so for those of you that are new here, this is where I guide you into a space where you get to explore more about what is happening for you currently around what I just talked about, right? So, right, it's not just me. This is what's happening. We are being asked to transform resistance. And I think I could safely say that there's something for you in your life right now, or there's something that's soon coming that is inviting you to expand and move into a bigger space, to dissolve the barriers of safety that have kept you in your current reality. So just get comfortable. I have my notes here. What wants to be said here is that, right, this is embodied. Like I'm going to lead you through this journey, but one of my main intentions is to also keep you in your body and move through this from an embodied place. We're not vacating. We're not like leaving here. We're staying here and noticing what the infinite space within our bodies wants to show us. That's the journey. Journey's here. So I'm going to take you through your body, and you can just start breathing into your body, just breathing in whatever rhythm, whatever pattern feels best for you. But as you bring breath in, as you bring awareness in on your breath, just tap into the space that is created as you breathe into your body, and bring your awareness to the space that's opening up as you bring oxygen in to your chest and your belly. And then as you exhale, just keep your focus and your attention on the space that's there in your body, and breathing in again and inviting the breath to move into your body and create more space and more awareness in other parts of your body, and you're deeper in your belly and expanding down into your pelvis. And exhale and maintain the sense of space, spaciousness inside your body. Another breath, bring it in, maybe feeling an expansion in your shoulders, in your neck. And just continue breathing in this way, bringing this space, this awareness of space in your body to you right here, just using your breath. You are so powerful that you can do this right here and feel all this space in your body. Right now, this space represents your current container. This represents your current space of safety, identity, availability. And so just continue to breathe. And your body is the container. Your body is the space. And as you move through this even more, you're going to start to notice that you do come up to edges, right? There's the physical edge of your body. You're touching yourself right here. You can feel. Some of you might be breathing beyond your body and continue to move, but at some point you are going to hit an edge, and I want you to allow that edge to appear right here. I want you just to notice where this edge is. You're just going to feel it. You're going to feel it as resistance. You're going to feel it as this pushing up against. And just energetically with your breath and with your awareness, just allow it to show up here, right? We're not trying to not have it show up. We want it to show up. So say, we all have our edge. Let it show up here for you. Just bring in the edge. Notice where it is. Like notice where the edge shows up for you. Like mine's over here. It might be different for you. So just feel that edge pushing up against you. Notice where it is. Notice how it feels. And then right here, lean in and ask, what is this resistance actually about? And allow yourself to receive information. You can even look at it and using imagery from your third eye, looking at this resistance that's showing up, and just get an idea of how it's showing up. Is there an image? Is there a symbol? Is there just a knowing? Is there a truth? What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Right here. Let it land. Beautiful. And then allowing yourself to stay as the beautiful, compassionate observer of this resistance and just watch it. Continue to breathe, take up as much space as you want to here. this is your space in your body, right? So you can continue to claim the space and just be right up here against this resistance. Just notice how it moves. And if there's anything else here that you can glean from it. And then giving this resistance as you lean in and you understand it more, permission right here just to dissolve. Just ask for an opening here. Notice the opening and look and see if you can detect what's on the other side. What is opening up for you here? And notice it. Just allow it to come in again as an image, as a knowing, as a truth. You get to explore this right here. It's totally safe to explore this. Beautiful. And then detecting in your body the essence of aliveness that exists over there, that's in you now, that wants to pull you into this experience, allowing it to pull you. And notice where you're pulled to go. And notice what you're pulled to become. Notice what you're pulled to experience and just move with it. Move with it, act toward it, and allow yourself to land right here on the other side. Beautiful. What are you doing over here? What's the action that you're doing that really allows this resistance to dissolve? And what does this aliveness feel like? Just noticing what you're doing, noticing how this doing also isn't just about dissolving resistance. It's actually just, it's a part of a new way of being. Notice this and the aliveness that's here with you. Notice how this feels like you. Notice how it doesn't feel like you. And then on the other side here, notice and allow this space to show you what it is you're now available and willing to feel that you weren't before. What is the breadth and the depth of the emotional experience that's available to you here? And again, just letting yourself feel it. You sacred, beautiful, dynamic human. Allowing yourself to feel it. Gorgeous. And now you get to decide right here, and we're going to allow all of this to land and be however it serves you at the greatest, highest good now. So you don't have to come back into the container of safety where you are on this side of the resistance. The resistance doesn't have to go back up. You can just stay here. And what I want you to do right now is just give yourself and your body and the wisdom of your body and of your highest self permission to rearrange all of this energetically within your body in the way that serves you the best. So right here, you have received information, intelligence, you've had an energetic shift, and you are going to land 3, 2, 1 right into the place that you need to be that serves you at the highest level right here in your life. So taking a deep breath into your body, again, feeling the space that's available to you here, thanking the space, thanking your beautiful body. If you feel any resistance, just acknowledging it, thanking it for showing up, and in your own words, letting it know that you are leaning in. and you're acting toward, and you're allowing and feeling everything that's here with this resistance, honoring it, appreciating it, thanking it. And then for what is on the other side of this, whether you're in it still, or maybe you retracted back a little bit, but whatever you now know about what's on the other side of this, just allowing the truth of it to be here with you, honoring this truth, knowing that it's your truth, knowing that it's for you here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Continuing to breathe and just really feeling into the gratitude, the power, your capacity to shift, to move, to transform resistance. When you're ready, you can start by just moving your body a little bit, wiggling your fingers and toes, and then opening your eyes to a soft gaze. If they've been closed, welcome back, beautiful soul. Thank you for taking that journey with me. Thank you for being here with me. So there's links down here. There's a link to the integration questions that I strongly encourage you to print out and put pen to paper to answer more deeply, more fully, more in an embodied way, to make more conscious what just came through in that journey. There's also a link to The Gathering, which is my newest offer that I'm so fucking excited about. It's a training. It's a 6-month training, community, and invitation to a way of being for coaches who are ready to tap into the non-physical reality, work with their spirit team, learn how to give and receive messages back here for themselves in their own lives and for their clients. It's called The Gathering. There's a link to learn more about that and to fill out a form, an interest form. And if you're interested in knowing more about The Gathering to see if it's the right space for you, or if you just want to know more about my work and working with me, there's also a link to a 60-minute connection call with me to get on my calendar and to get on a call like this. And it's so fun. I love connecting with people and tapping into their energy and bringing up what I see, what I feel, what I know for you, and having a conversation around that. So those links are below, and also leave a comment, share this video on your social media, share it with your friends. I'm stoked to be here. I love you, and I will talk to you again soon.